Drivers, start your engines!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Dover in the TDR Vets and First Responders League, Race 2 of Season 6. Am I correct on that, guys, in the booth? Jay and Tommy?
Yes, you are. How are you tonight, Dustin? Welcome to Dover.
Yeah, good. How about you? You're on remote tonight. You're going to enjoy the race from a hotel room, I'm guessing. Can't wait for you to hear you call the race tonight. How are you feeling about tonight, bud?
I'm feeling great about tonight. Actually, I'm about, 100 miles west of Martinsville as my current location in a remote hotel room. I'm away on be on business this week and both next week, so you will be hearing me if don't mind the echo, but glad to get out here and call the action from Dover as we get season 6, race number 2 underway. Tommy, how you feeling about tonight, bud?
Man, I am excited. I know these guys can go on gas, but if anyone has ever been around Dover, it's a very slick track, and tires are going to be a huge, huge issue in this race. A couple yellows might play in some guys' favor, but I think we're going to be on a long, grinding journey for, what are we doing, 80 laps here tonight, Jay?
I think it's 110.
Yeah, it's
Ooh,
110.
that's a lot. Ooh, that's a lot.
So 110 laps, it's 110 miles around the Monster Mile, and we all know that these guys can get bitten at any time. Miles, the Monster, does like to reach out and grab some cars, throw them especially into that back wall, and that seems to be the spot. But we've also noticed that turn number 2, or turn number 4 as well, seems to be a spot where these cars are getting a lot looser with the next gen. So pay attention to coming off of the turns, going down the back stretch, and then coming off turn 4, going down the front stretch. We've seen it there. I know I've been both Dustin and myself in a couple of races that we've raced here. So, Dustin, what are you thinking about tire-wise tonight? I'm thinking they may be able to go the distance with gas, but tires may be a premium.
Yeah, tires are a premium at this track. We've all raced it. We've all had a good time with it. But it's, gas comes into play too. We got some good tire savers out there, good equipment savers out there. It's going to be interesting what these guys bring to the table here as we got 12 guys in field tonight that are checked into the gate. And breaking news, Ryan Shelton sounds like he's not going to make it this week. He had some technical problems at his house. We hope everything goes good there, and can't wait to see him next week.
Yeah, I heard it's hot over there in the Carolinas, so we're wishing Ryan Shelton a speedy recovery from the situation that he is in.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think
can't go without the air conditioning, especially this time of the year where
it's hot
they're
about
having
everywhere.
a heat wave. It's actually hotter up here where I am than when I actually left Florida. So they're expected to get 99 tomorrow, and tomorrow's supposed to be 94 from Fort Myers. So it's actually hotter where I'm at up here in the Smoky Mountains than in Florida. So they are definitely having a heat wave. Things are getting hot everywhere. And we're getting heated up as well as we go into this next season, for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Dustin brought some of that breaking news from pit road. There was actually a little dust up down there. I noticed Andy didn't feel like joining us in the booth tonight, and that's probably because our rivalry started here at Dover, and I got word of a little bit of rivalry going on down on pit road now.
Yeah, this all stemmed from a couple of incidents that have happened on track this past couple of weeks. But pay attention to number 49 and number 90. There seems to be a little bit of rivalry going on, a little bit of banner going back and forth. So that may transfer over to the race. Might be something to keep an eye on as we go forward throughout the rest of the season. As Ryan said, he's going to definitely be handing it a little bit more to a certain driver out there, and it might be in returned as well. We know these guys do are gentlemanly and maybe a friendly little rival, but it's still something maybe we can keep an eye on. It may actually affect the championship when these guys start racing around each other. So we shall see.
Yeah, points are always important, and having a rivalry, it can be a good thing and a bad thing, right? If you're trying to catch the guy you're not a big fan of, you might fight a little harder, but if he catches up to you, you better watch out.
That's right. As everybody knows, I think I think Cochran called Ryan Shelton Ross Chastain because he likes to run over people. But that's the last thing that I've heard anyway. So we shall see how that translates over.
Yeah,
But
good
it's
to
going to
see
be
Christopher
missed.
Strawn on track now.
Yeah, Christopher Strawn really haven't heard too much. He's the new guy that's out there tonight, as well as we got a returner of Boyd is out there. Tyler Bowers, we've seen him out there last week. Good to see him back out there tonight. I do not see in the lineup though Mr. Fosberg yet. So
No,
our
Rosberg, but
captain,
Larry Patrick's out there. Brad Youngman, another newcomer. This will be his first race, 6 seasons in.
Robin Pardon's back out there. That's a name that we're very familiar with. Chuck McDonald, who had a huge winner with some big names here out there in 10th spot, but I'm sure he's going to be going for that fuel strategy, which is what got him the win over the big boys. So keep an eye on Chuck McDonald tonight. He will not be up front, but you'll see him more than likely stretch that fuel out and maybe short pit and try and take it that way.
Yeah, we said the fuel here is not huge, right? 85 laps to go, but it all depends on how cautions shake out. And as slick as this track is, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple self spins. It's gonna be hairy out there. I think 20, 30 laps on these tires is more than enough, and the drivers are gonna want them at least twice, if not 3 times.
Does anybody have the conditions on the track? I know this is a concrete track, so it does. It's not as how you say touchy as a not all asphalt track, but temperature should come into play. I see a lot of guys that have got spun around. I've seen a lot of smoke backstretch. I've seen some couple of shots where people are hitting that outside wall. I know you're getting all you can out of this practice session since it's no harm, no foul, but
Well, it's a tough track. 24 degrees of banking in the corner isn't a whole lot. You only have, what, 9 degrees on the straightaways. And the high side, you want to run up there. That feels like the fastest line, but it destroys tires.
yeah, you don't want to be on that upper side, right about where you see Robin Pardon at the middle of the track. That's about as comfortable as you're going to feel in a next gen car.
Left
If you
side's
get
on the black.
Yeah, you're not going to get too low because it's going to upset the car, especially coming out of there. And you can see it there. I mean, it just shoots towards that outside wall coming off of turn 4. You're going to take it kind of high here. Devin said he can dive it down, which you see Robin trying to do right there. But once again, with these independent suspensions on that rear passengers rear passenger side of your vehicle, it's upsetting these cars. And how definitely you want to eliminate as much of that transition as you can to keep that car as straight as you can.
So we've talked about everyone on track so far. Who are you guys looking at to take home race 2 tonight?
Devin Zimmerman has been proven to be really fast here. As much as I don't want to go with favorite, I'm going to have to go with Devin Zimmerman. He just has been proven time and time again, season after season, that he is very fast here, and it doesn't seem like anybody. But if there is one underdog pick, it's going to be that '04 car right there, Chuck McDonald. I think that he would be the one out of anybody that can upset the that powerhouse that Zimmerman and Thompson hold on this field right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And Devin's looking really good in that new Macone paint scheme. He calls it the Macone comb. He brought back that iconic honeycomb grill from season 4 to represent him here in season 6 with the Macone logos on the side. So I do expect him to bring a lot of speed. What do you think, Dustin?
I'm with you guys. You guys picked some pretty good names there. I'm looking at some of these newer names out here that they might shake up the field. I mean, Brian Boyd, I know he put in some practice this week, and Brad Brad comes in looking to shake up the field, and I like seeing some of these newer names out here. I mean, Tyler Bowers is always fast in any race I've ever raced with him at, so he could shake up the field here. This is going to be an exciting race, and I can't wait for this race to get started.
Yeah, and Tyler Bowers recently had a birthday. And it was I was reminded he's actually the season 3 champion here. So we do have a former champion in the field tonight. While one of our 4 all-stars from season 5 is absent due to some issues at the home.
Yeah, so that's gonna. So we got 3 past season champions running the field tonight. One current who's a defender, as we see. Ooh, that's not good right there. All right, well, that's kind of a reset.
You never want to look another driver in the eyes.
That's never a good thing.
Never. That could lead to some rivalries for itself, especially when you're looking right at them.
No,
Yeah, absolutely.
we touched on Brian Boyd, and stuff came up after the race last week, his first race with us. He's actually a Marconi setup shop driver now, as he's also sponsored by Mission 22. He's come out with this slick looking paint as we see him on track right now.
Yeah, I like the American flag theme being carried through that Mission 22 logo and the number and the Marconi logo. Great job on that paint scheme there.
Absolutely, Mission 22. I mean, that's one of the greatest causes I think that any of these guys can support out there. So, as well as everybody else out there. But it's good to see our usual suspects are back. Sharon, Sister Suki is back. So, hi, Sharon. How are you? Janelle. Too bad you couldn't join us in the booth tonight, but so good to see you out there in chat. I'm sure you can keep it going for us.
And Brad Hunt checking in as well. Now, do you remember back in the day when Brad Keselowski tweeted from his car?
I remember that.
And then all of a sudden, Twitter and NASCAR were like the same thing. Brett, if who was it? Cochran is Chastain? Or no, Ryan Walter was Chastain. So if Ryan Walter is Chastain, Brad Hunt must be Brad Keselowski.
Well, there you go. So, Andrew Bisnet is another guy who likes to chime in and text from his. He'll be going full out, and next thing you know, you'll see a text coming in from Bisnet. So I don't know how he does it, but we're gonna have to figure that out. Maybe go in car.
As we're coming up,
Christopher Green.
As we're coming up on the end of practice here, times are pretty tight. Half second from top to bottom. I mean, it's going to be an interesting race. We're going to go into practice here, or qualifying here, and looking forward to this race. I don't know about you guys, but Dover's always been a fun track to race on. Tires are always fun to try to save. We all know that. This is going to be so interesting. I mean, it's almost like we have Daytona all over again.
Speaking of Daytona, that's next week.
That
Tune in next week.
Right?
Same back time, same back channel.
And, Jay, we saw a great race at the last Super Speedway race that these guys raced at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was one of the, like I said, you're going to put this out. I can't wait till we get back there, only because of the action that we saw before. And the person who just chimed in the YouTube better be back out there again. Captain Paul Vosberg says, good luck, everyone, tonight. Let's go, Biznet, headed to Arizona. So looks like Paul Vosberg is headed to Arizona. Must be some fires out there that he's fighting. So good luck to you, Paul. Sorry to not see you out there, but we know that real life.
If anybody else is out there looking to join this league, there's a lot of part-timers, a lot of points on the table over here. These guys have very busy personal lives, and we appreciate everything they've done or do for the country. They can't make a lot of these races. They can't make every single race. We have a lot of names we see every week, but we don't see the same names together every week. And I think that's one of the great things about this league and this racing is the brotherhood they have, and when they get to come together, how good that racing is despite the diminished field.
Yeah, and like I said, we saw 15 guys out there tonight, or 13 guys out there. I'm sorry, we normally have about 15 with Ryan there and Paul chiming in. So, and I think Stephen Green is another one of our drivers that we don't see out on track tonight. But we are going into qualifying session. I think we need to pay some bills before we get rolling here.
Oh, absolutely. Dustin said earlier the drivers' times are tight, and times are tight up here in the booth too. We got to pay these bills.
Absolutely.
We always got to pay the bills.
It's the economy,
It's the economy. We got to pay our gas prices to get up in the booth.
Well, if you mention them twice, does that mean we get twice the amount of sponsorship money?
I'm pretty sure these cars running about $7 a lap.
We'll start with B&B wraps.
Absolutely. Just delivered, and it was in our post about tonight's race. The Season 5 trophy board landed on Ethan Thompson's desk a few days ago. Great job. So each trophy's customized to the season. He always has a great military theme, very patriotic concept. It looks amazing. Go check out the photos. And if you own a race car, a helmet, a vehicle for your business, if you want an object, a coffee mug, something wrapped as a gift, B&B Wraps can wrap whatever you can think of, from coffee cups to semi truck. Excuse me, I breathed down the wrong hole there. Facebook.com/B.B Racing Wraps.
McConey Setup Shop.
Jeff McConey, a man who needs no introduction, further solidified his partnership with Tyler Daniels Racing at the end of Season 5 by offering the top 3 in points and the race winner McConey sponsorships for this season. Bringing a lot more speed to these guys without even being asked to do so, supporting the cause, supporting the mission. Check them out at McConeySetupShop.com. They have setups, paint schemes, some really cool gloves from a company that I think is pronounced Abruzzi or Abruzzi. Do you
I think
guys
it's
know?
a Bruzy. I think it's a Bruzy.
Yeah, Bruzy sounds
Anyway,
right.
great looking gear, professional stuff. You can get those gloves customized with your name and number on them. McConeySetupShop.com. Their setups, your victories.
Back charities.
That's an easy one. Usually when Andy's up here in the booth, I let him plug it, but I know he doesn't want to see me at Dover. No, this is something Andy and I started, so the group took off, did really well. We started the charity to help kind of provide a mission behind the funds that we were raising to help guys race and provide these non-toxic communities. We actually have a track day coming up. 4th of July weekend will be in Brownstown, Indiana. We're going to go to Salem Speedway and have a little party 4th of July, so it's an open invite to any TDR members. If you can get up there, come join us. If you can't, please open your hearts and wallets, give some money to back charities, and help us continue the mission we're on. Give back with back.
That'll wrap up our sponsors for tonight. As Jay, I don't know if you can see that on the little screen you're on with you being remote, but it looks like Tyler Bowers and Ethan Thompson did the same lap in qualifying.
They sure did. Brian
Yes,
Boyd
they
not
did.
far behind.
Brian Boyd is not far behind. I know he put in a lot of practice time. It's nice. It's different seeing a negative 0.00 up on the ticker.
Yeah, that comes down to the thousands or hundreds of thousands. So they might have been in the same car at the same time, taking the same lap, and it just came up. But I think because Ethan Thompson is actually the defending points champion from last year, I think that's why he is up on the pole, and that's why Tyler Bowers is at second.
Let's see, Devin Zimmerman looks like scraping the wall there in qualifying. That might have
Oh,
been
he
on
took
him.
his. I think did he take his laps? Yes, he did. He took his laps and ended up third, so he is not
Yeah.
sitting on the pole. So that is another point that goes back to Ethan Thompson. Devin Zimmerman will lose that point for that. So
Yeah.
as with the vets and first responders, like only in TDR. I know a lot of guys get confused when we're out there racing, but only in the vets and TDR. Our vets only and first responders league, they get 1 point for qualifying on the pole, 1 point for leading a lap.
Well, points are going to be tight. Big shout out to Brian Boyd sitting inside the top 5 right now. I love how when someone new comes to the league, how much these guys help them get faster. Brian Boyd showed up, race 1, season 6, had an okay performance, wasn't his day, and now here he is running in the top 5 with some real champions.
Yeah, he put in some good practice over the week. He said he was going to concentrate on Dover. He wanted to show what what kind of racer he actually is. I know he races a lot of open setups races with McConey setup. So this fixed racing might have been a little different for him, but he's coming out with a bang tonight. That's for sure.
Well,
Jay?
and I didn't mention it during the plug, the one we get the check for, but McConeySetupShop.com does offer driver training as well from some of the professionals. I wouldn't be surprised if Boyd took advantage of some of that, as well as the other 4 guys out there rocking McConey logos.
That is right. So we got a bunch of McConey stuff out there tonight. Glad to see the McConey's coming on board, getting a lot more involved with these vets and first responders. They deserve everything that they get. Ethan Thompson did chime in on the YouTube and said that's the only point I'm getting tonight. You can still lead a lap there, Ethan. So I think you're okay. You just got to hold off Tyler and Devin for the first lap, and you can get one there.
Well, and that brings up a good point about points racing at this kind of track is that the tires are going to be huge, fuel not so important. If we get a bunch of green flag runs, a lot of guys can lead a lap and pick up that extra point.
Yeah, no, and that's what it's going to be. If you can stay out just that extra lap, if you can go, just hang on for just that lap or two longer and get that. It's kind of hard to do with the quality and the caliber of field that we have. And, if if you come in your tires at a premium, you're going to want to not lose that time that you're going to be staying out. But if you can short pit and get around them, that would be the way to do it. And that's what I'm expecting to see Chuck McDonald. So everybody keep an eye on Chuck McDonald. Even though we saw him slide down the backstretch, I think he was just trying to get something a little bit more out of it. But definitely keep your eye on Chuck McDonald tonight and see how far he is in short pits or if he's going to stay out longer. I would think he would short pit maybe half the race or a little bit past that. If they have 85 laps, probably going about lap 60, 65, and then try and stretch that out for the remainder of the event and just hold on to that gap.
Yeah, I agree, but there's also some time to be gained with fresh rubber too. The fall off here after about 20 laps, you're probably losing easily a second a lap, if not more, over fresh rubber. And when tires are in question, Andrew Bisnet can never be counted out. His unusual pit strategies, playing long game, playing short game. I want to see what he does with what he gets tonight.
He will admit
Yeah.
that he's not good at saving tires, but he's
But great
pretty
at
good at the
them.
gas.
He's good at getting them.
Right?
But he's good at taking that fuel. He knows his fuel mileage, and we were talking about a pre-broadcast on the fuel run these guys could have, but I think the tires are going to come into play. I mean, you could split this into three pit stops. You could split it, you could split it halfway. It's going to be interesting what these guys end up doing.
Well, and with Ryan Shelton being absent tonight, we can expect probably no one will slide through the pit stall.
I would say that.
I
There's
don't
been a
know,
lot
man.
of people that have been known to do that.
This is going to be the one where everybody's got to pay attention tonight because this is the track. Not only is it hard to get onto, maintaining speed while everybody is just like zooming by you. The pit speed is 35 miles an hour. You're coming off of that banking.
Yep.
You're going to, I can't tell you how many times that I killed my virtual soul running directly into those tire barriers there at the end of pit road.
Yep.
So it's
and a
gonna
very
be
slick track
one.
too. It does make entry that much harder to get woed up.
Mhm.
Getting in and out of your pit stall is important, but like you said, here just getting in, not getting that speeding penalty is going to be their biggest struggle. I think we're probably going to see them come at least twice for tires, if not 3 times. So, with all the green flag tradition we've had through the last few seasons of the Vets League, I mean, there's going to be a lot of green flag pit stops. That's my assessment. If we don't see anybody collected in some of these self spins, we're sure to see from the slick conditions as well.
Yeah, this is gonna be one of those tracks where I'm not sure. I'm sure we probably see a yellow, if not 2, maybe 3 tonight, just because it's the track. It's a super speedway of short tracks. So it's like a stretched out Bristol. You get cars
Yeah.
get running around, you get slick. Somebody slides, like you said, just trying to get on the pit road. They can get around. Somebody get collected. We've seen a couple of cars get around, and it doesn't take much. It's a self-cleaning track, so if you try and go underneath somebody, you're going to get collected in that. The track does get blocked up in a hurry, so if you're coming off of turn 2, expecting somebody to go down, and they don't make it down, they slam on the brakes and stop in the middle of the back stretch or front stretch, you have absolutely nowhere to go. So, I mean, it's going to be one of those nights where you got to be on your A game all night. You can't you can't get into that lull, even though it's 110 laps. They're going to go by quick, about 23 to 25 seconds lap as we're starting to get gridded up here. But it's definitely one of those races where you have to be on your A game all night. And like I said, Andrew Bisnet, Devin Zimmerman, Ethan Thompson, Tyler Bowers, Brian Boyd, not really sure, but we got now the Robert Cochran and Ryan Walter, but they're starting away from each other. So, who can get to who can get to what kind of, who's going to have the right strategy? I don't, that's one of those deals, but we shall see as we're getting ready to go
Tyler
off.
Bowers in that Terry Labonte throwback cornflakes car there. That looks great.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that car on the track. I don't know about you, Jay, but it's been a long time since I've seen that car on track.
It's funny you mentioned that. I saw somebody out there is running the Rainbow Warrior scheme, and it looks like a little bit like a watermelon. It's got the red fruit right there with the green shell. You know how the red kind of gets yellow?
That would be Ryan Walter, our new Ross Chastain.
The rainbow colors.
Right. That's right, running the old DuPont colors, like the original Rainbow Warrior scheme back there for and a little bit of a watermelon too. So, like I said, like this ought to be fun. Ryan is fast. Don't let him fool you back there. He coming off a knee surgery. It's going to be a little bit painful, but he is getting better every week, and he is quick. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him getting up there within the first few laps and putting a little pressure on these guys near the front.
I can't help but notice Andy has hijacked the official Back Sports YouTube handle. There's chat over there that I am never on my A game at Dover, and it's only because you keep hitting me in the B pillar, Andy.
You know, as these guys are getting ready to come to green, I can't help but look at the new guy in the group, Brad Yoakum. His paint looks great. He's obviously part of the Air Force. The paint looks tight. Let's see if he can drive this car up to the front.
Yeah, it's a great looking Air Force car there for sure. He's sitting on the outside of Chuck McDonald as we're getting ready. I'm sure that pace car is going to be going off any second now, and these guys are getting in. As a pace car is the only one that's going to get the pit road safely tonight, I feel. And
here we go,
green.
Fellas.
We're going green. There's another thing that we got to remember here when we do have, if we do have these restarts, that Geico restart zone that just got added to iRacing, that could make this really interesting.
Absolutely. See, Tyler Bowers jump out to lead in front of Ethan Thompson right off the bat. So Tyler Bowers is now going to lead him down that back stretch. He's our, season 3 champion, leading our season 5 champion. So how about that, huh? Ooh, Ethan gets a little bit high, and that's going to open up the door for our new Brian Boyd, and Devin Zimmerman's just back there. They're being a little bit patient, trying to let the car come to them. As now we've got a fight for third in between Boyd and Zimmerman. Coming down.
Season 4 champion.
Season 4. So we got champions, racing champions heading to the front, and the newcomer right there, and he is looking good right now on that number 78 Mission McConey setup shops. As now Devin goes down underneath. Thought the better of it. Devin's the only one that I did see try that bottom side. I'm not sure how he can get it to stick, but if anybody can get it to stick, I'm sure he can, as we see them just tap that outside wall. Look like there from Ethan Thompson as he come out of turn number 2 for third lap.
Brian Boyd might be making some gains here.
Oh, he gets loose.
A little too much inside wall.
There's that corner 4 that's going to bite you. I mean, he kept it straight. But, man, that's one thing that we've been noticing with this next-gen car.
You gotta wonder, does he have to come in and fix that, or can he ride it out until we get a yellow or a cycle through the green flags?
With the new damage model that they just brought in, that's probably going to come in to fix. I did see some sparks flying out of his car, so I'm thinking he's going to have to come in and get that fixed as he's coming down pit road.
Yeah.
That car,
he hit that pretty good.
He hit that wall pretty good.
Probably going to lose a couple here. Luckily, it happened early on in the race, so if he can get it fixed up, get his stuff together, he can go back out there and win it back the hard way.
And that's a shame because he was really pushing him towards the front there. And
he was looking good.
He was looking really good up there. As you see, that kind of put a separation in between Tyler Bowers, Ethan Thompson, and now Devin Zimmerman's about 10 car lengths behind Ethan. Almost.
There's another one in the wall.
Oh, there's another one that hit the wall back there. I'm not sure.
Strong, I believe.
Yeah, it was 26. Yep, Christopher Strong. He hit the wall pretty good.
And he's going to come down and get some service. So.
Yeah, he just got loose. He was a little low, and that was the replay of that. I mean, he just got a little loose, a little low, and he's coming out pit road to get his service. And you know, Tommy alluded to it at pre-race. You know that you both did with the way the track conditions could be, and
5 laps,
it's kind of
5 laps,
5, 6, 7 laps in, they're already breaking loose, and we got 2 guys that have to come in and get that fast repair.
Yeah, it's very much a dynamic track. You're going to have to adapt to what the tires are doing, and as you adjust your line, you become uncomfortable and upset it a little bit. It's really hard to get a lot of wear out of these tires at this track.
Yeah, and then there's concrete. So concrete is going to tear up the tires a little bit more than your asphalt. It will rubber in, but it takes a long time for it to rubber in on the concrete over the asphalt. As we see right now, Ryan Walter. Ryan Walter and Ryan Shelton. We need to come up with some better names for them because I get those 2 confused all the time, even when I'm out there racing with them. But he's making moves and moving on.
We should just start calling Ryan Walter Chastain, right?
RC, right there. RC. No, that was Walters. Yeah, he's been moving up since he got the back, but I don't think he took qualifying lap, did he, guys?
Nope.
No,
He did not.
Ryan Walter and Bradley Hunt both did not put in a qualifying lap. I assumed Ryan did that to avoid Robert Cochran.
Yeah, and Cochran's right now, he's just maintaining. I think he started in 7th, fell back 1 now in the 8th spot, but he's just waiting for him to come back up as not too far away on the track. Getting it up there.
Newcomer Brad Youngman sitting top 5.
Running good.
Andrew Bisnet, top 4. And then season 3 champion, season 5 champion, and season 4 champion running 1, 2, and 3 with Ryan Shelton nowhere in sight.
Yeah, it's too bad Ryan is not here
Yeah.
pressuring these guys. That would have been a good race, I think, for everybody to see. But what are you gonna do? Life comes and goes, and we all know how that goes. So life can't be a
Ethan
bowl of cherries.
Thompson does pass Tyler Bowers for the lead.
Yeah.
So he's getting that one more point that he said he wasn't going to get in chat.
Okay, so we should make him put some money into the jar for lying to us.
Yes, we need to have the drivers are lying jar for charity.
That's right.
Anytime the drivers tell us a lie, they got to put a quarter in.
But speaking of that, I hear that there's something that may be in the works. Dustin, Tommy, maybe want to elaborate that? Maybe mid-season? I've heard a little bit of some talk. I'm not sure.
Not really mid-season. I mean, get it going out now. I mean, if people want to, if they want to sponsor a race, put a loved one on the name of the race for a night or a business or anything like that, feel free to reach out to Back Charities and put a donation out there, and we'll put your name on the race for a night.
Absolutely.
Sounds
You
like a
said that
great
there's
thing.
no amount on that. It's just reach out and see what we can do.
We haven't said anything right now. It's kind of a works thing, but just whatever you can give, 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever you guys can give. We'll put your name out in the race sponsor a race for the night. I mean, I'm pretty sure the guys over at Back Charities, Tommy and Andy, will come up with something. We can get that out to you guys more next week or as the week rolls around. Just kind of a mind thought that some of us got coming up with up here in the booth, and let's have some fun with it. Let's honor some of these fallen veterans or even our current servicemen and women out there that we want to honor. We love honoring every one of them, not just the ones on the track, the ones that are in our hearts and in our minds.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the second half of that idea is something we could really get behind at Back Charities. If you guys know someone or have someone in your family who is one of our fallen heroes, let us know. We would love to be able to put their name up on the race and have the Sergeant Example 400.
Yep.
There you go. So, I mean, that would be great. And do not forget, it will remain on YouTube. So, as long as their YouTube is up, that name will remain out there and anybody can go back to watch it. So, you'll be able to, friends, family, and go back and watch the race in the honor of that loved one.
Right.
Devin Zimmerman putting Tyler Boyers a spot
I see
back.
smoke down the front stretch. I'm not sure who got, but as we saw Zimmerman go by, there was definitely some smoke coming from there.
Oh, Bradley Hunt. Bradley Hunt got spun around, or Chuck McDonald and Bradley Hunt. I don't know. We'll see what happens here.
Oh, that's okay.
Looks like Bradley Hunt slid up into Chuck
just
McDonald.
got up into Chuck.
And
Put
Chuck
him
got
in
real
the
lucky
outside
there.
wall.
Looks like Brad Hunt just kind of lost control but slid up the track, and Chuck happened to be the safer Barry himself.
Yeah.
Talk about using all the track and the people that go with it. My goodness, that's. You know what? I'm surprised there. Well, I guess Chuck kept it going. I'm surprised there was not a caution there because there were 2 cars involved, and that could have been.
Looking back at Tyler Bowers here, he went out to the quick lead, and I saw him go up, get close to the wall. I'm wondering if we were alluding to it earlier, using up them tires. Did he use up them tires too early? We're 20 laps into this run.
Yeah,
now, they're sitting there discussing it. I did see him tap the outside wall a couple of times, so I think he has a little bit of that aero damage, and he's just pushing it a little bit too hard at the present moment. I had to back off.
Well, and I think 20 laps into the tires are getting tired, so to speak. They're not working nearly as hard as they were early on, and I think the drivers are starting to feel some of that.
Yeah, and I don't think Goodyear came with an 85 lap tire. I really don't. The gas tank may be able to go 85, but the tires are saying, no. I'm getting tired out here. 40, 45 tops, I'd say. Definitely within 45, I'd be coming in. I think they're going to wear out by then.
Yeah, I think 40 laps will be a tall order for most of the drivers out there. It's going to take somewhat special to get that many laps out of these tires.
if anybody can do it, well, Zimmerman I think would be the one of the few that could probably stretch that out because he is good at saving his equipment. He's proven that time and time again as we go out there. But
we saw that last week. It's race 1 of season 6. You know, he got in that early wreck, worked his way back up, played a little fuel strategy, and came home with the win.
yeah, so it's not necessarily being quick here, as McDonald has shown in the past. You can be the quickest car out there, but the most important one to lead is that last lap. So that's what's going to
lead
get you
them all but that one.
and that's gonna solidify your name in a record books. That's for sure. Not that you ran the race, but no, Ethan Thompson is, he's been smooth. I haven't seen him hit anything. He's stayed out of trouble. He's just kind of running his race right now. Got a comfortable lead over Devin Zimmerman, but I don't think anything's going to be pressed right now. It's going to come down to that final pit stop and who's going to have their equipment there at the end. Any pit stop strategies? Is there going to be mistakes made? I think that's going to be the final outcome of the race. But like I said, Chuck McDonald now with some damage that may hurt his chances of going around. But quick repairs, so it's not really going to cost him any time on the track if he can remain out of trouble for the rest of the time that they're out there. As we're now 25 of 110 down.
Dustin, do you have any data on what the fall off is so far, 25 laps in?
No idea. I don't know what I have not run I don't know if I've ever actually ran these cars on at Dover. I honestly don't know if I've ran a lap around.
Yes,
this
we
track.
have. We ran the gas and go here. That was one of the first round.
Well, the reason I ask is I wonder if some of the guys in the back, if rubber's going to make a lot of difference in lap times, if they're going to start pitting a little bit early and trying to gain some of that that extra speed by getting some extra tires.
Well, it comes down to whether you want to split it in thirds or fourths, whatever you want to do. You know, there's always options here. You know, you go into pit, you're going to go down a lap for sure. It's always fun to try.
And there's always that flag I won't mention that slows things down for a while.
Yeah,
you got to factor the possibility of that in, even though it's unlikely in this league.
It's a very, very unlikely.
That color matches that color that's sitting at the end of pit road there.
The blue one.
I'm pretty familiar with the blue one.
I think we all are. I think we're all familiar with the blue one. That's why we're not on track.
Behind you, right?
That's why we're not on track right now with these guys. As Jay and I have seen racing with some of these guys, you know, we finally got the chance to race with Ethan Thompson, Devin Zimmerman, and Ryan Shelton a little bit more. Oh, it's Ethan taps a wall there. He got a little high coming off. His tires are wearing off. But, you know, we think we can race with these guys, but they show us different every day.
Yeah, they're very strong competitors. That is for sure. There's a reason they got those big yellow letters on their quarter panels.
Yeah.
There's a reason why. Yep, exactly. You got that right. And there's a reason why they call them champions, because that's what they are. And what makes everybody else bad is we will practice for hours and hours. They'll come in 5 minutes and still kick our butt. So, and still shows what we're doing wrong. So, but we love them just as much as they love beating us. So at this point, this is good. So Ethan Thompson, Devin Zimmerman, Tyler Bowers, 1, 2, 3 out there. Andrew Biznet's been kind of lurking back there. We haven't really heard too much from that. But look, Ryan Walter moved up into that 5th spot, so he is on the move.
I guarantee all that you can hear in Biznet's helmet right now is save tires, save tires, save tires.
Well, he will admit he's not the best tire saver, and he said that to me a lot. Oh, I don't know how to save tires. I think that's just a ploy. I think he knows how to save tires and fuel.
I do too. You don't take 2 and not know what you're doing.
Yeah, he has an idea what he's doing in his head. I raced in the Iconic race with him not too long ago, and he sent me a private message. Hey, take no tires and this amount of fuel. He knew what he was talking about.
I visited with the drivers on pit road pre-race just to kind of see what they were doing, and Andrew popped up, and I'm like, hey, man, what's pit strategy look like? He's like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, you do.
He has an idea.
Not 5 minutes later, he had the pit fuel window on a notepad next to him.
Well, it's not on a notepad. It's up in his brain. He knows a lot of stuff up there. He knows what he's dealing with.
Yeah, he's a smart driver. He doesn't always demonstrate a lot of the raw speed you see out of some of these guys that run up front, but that W is not far away for him. I know it.
Well, he's also sporting that Marconi setup shop on his ride too.
You can find him, Tommy. You can see him, that pink and green. You love that pink and green mix, don't you? It's like an old country time mix.
I'm not a fashion expert, but I know those don't go together.
But you can find them. No matter where, you're going to find them on the track. So with that pink and green scheme.
But when you show up to race on TV, you gotta have something on the car that looks outstanding, and that is standing out at its best.
There you go. What if we can't say if we can't be in the show, be the show or something? Is that what you keep saying? As
That's
you see,
usually
Devin
me.
is
Is slowly reeling in Ethan Thompson, Jay.
yeah, I see that. He's went from about 10 car lengths now to about 3. So looks like
Yeah.
Ethan's car is starting to fade. Devin's starting to come in right now. 35 of 110. But like you noticed before, like 6 laps ago, Ethan started to drift higher and higher and did hit that outside wall. So now he's just going to have to hold on for the next pit stop here.
What are we calling the stripe here? Is it the Milo stripe?
I'm not sure what you would call it here.
Well, I know what I'd call it, but we can't say that on the air.
As we're getting close to that window, if they really want to make this a 3-stop race, we're getting close to that window where we might see some of them, and we see Robert Pardon coming down pit road. Don't know if this is a strategy or, well, he says he's 3 laps down now, but he's coming in.
Pit under green.
Yeah, pit under green.
Well,
That's what
yeah,
happens.
pit under green. Yeah, you're going to go laps down. Like I said, it's 35 miles an hour, so you're guaranteed to at least lose 1 or 2.
So we might see some of these guys try to make that strategy.
I see Ethan Thompson holding on to the lead there, and I don't think Devin's trying too hard. I think that damage is affecting Ethan's car, and he's just kind of, pardon the term, but pussyfooting around here.
Pardon?
Yeah, Pardon. Yeah. Speaking of Pardon, where is Robin Pardon? He's out there racing with us tonight.
Just came
Just
off pit
outside the top
road.
10.
Just came off of pit road. I think he's in that 3-stop strategy like we were talking about, and he's coming off, and we'll see what happens here as these pit cycles do start fading
So
in.
yeah, you're gonna have a challenge for the lead here within the next few
As-
laps.
As Biznet is on pit road.
So
probably
Biznet's
also
gonna
looking at
pull,
a 3-stop, and with 3 stops, it's hard. If you factor lap 38 is probably a good bet, but if you came in at 35, that's only 105 laps.
I was not
on
sure
a
what
3-stop
happened, but
strategy.
Devin does take the lead over Ethan Thompson. Not sure what happened there, but we were looking at Biznet
I think
going to pit
Ethan
road.
just gave it to him because his car
Yeah.
is starting to
Yeah.
fade, and now with Biznet coming in, Ethan may be thinking about the same. Because what do you want to? Who do you want to really lose it to? Because really, Biznet was hanging out in the top 5. You see somebody sliding through the pit there.
That was Larry
And that's
Patrick.
what-
Yep.
It's just one of, like I said, it's getting down off that pit and on the pit road.
And
it's
35 miles
painful.
an hour, it hurts a race car driver. You want to go fast. It's so
Especially when you're
hard to go
speed
that
is
slow.
going by that fast. It's like you know what's coming, you know what you got to do, but when you hear it and you see it, your foot wants to drop just a little bit harder, and next thing you know, you're going 38-40, and you're tapped for a speeding penalty on pit road, especially here. It is so painful to get on and
And we
off this pit
see
road.
the difference on tires as Robin Pardon makes quick work of Ethan Thompson there.
And he's pulling right up on Devin Zimmerman, going to get one of them laps back. And it'll be interesting how this cycles through. If these guys are going to try to make them last, these guys that are going to cut it in thirds. We'll see what happens here. This could get interesting.
I think the fresh tires, I mean, it's really hard to say.
You can see it right there. No, it's fresh tires. You can tell is the advantage.
But I think the fresh tires may have enough of an advantage that if we go green all the way, getting 3 sets may be better than 2 sets overall based on not having as much fall off as the guys trying to hold out for 2 stops.
As we see Tyler Bowers and Larry Patrick are on pit road right now, and the 7th on down have been on pit road, and 6 on up have not. So we'll see what happens here. Make a mental shot at what we see here, and this could pan out to be different.
Yeah, and you're going to lose laps pitting on green, but so are the leaders as well, right? They're going to get passed probably 2 times, so it's going to be an interesting cycle as the rest of the guys decide to come down and have mercy on themselves.
That's kind of like playing roulette, though, when you're definitely taking that early pit stop and you're going on a different strategy because you're going laps down and you're going to go laps down, and you're just hoping that when that car comes out, there's none cautions that it's going to put you in, hold you a lap down. So I mean, that's one of the risks that you got to take on staying out or coming in. But if you can hang out there till the leaders pit, then it's a good strategy. But if
right
not,
now, everyone that's pit is showing 2 laps down, so at best, a lucky dog is still going to be the last car on the lead lap. Or The
Two
first car lap down.
As we're looking,
Right.
we're riding around with Robert Parton right now. This last lap was a 24:11. I'm kind of curious what he runs here, and then we'll go hop in with the leader or second place, Devin Zimmerman, see what their next lap would be. See
Well,
what the difference
Denon's
is.
running about 25 and a halves.
Oh, yeah, we see that up top. Yeah, so it's about
Yeah,
a
a little
second
north
difference.
of that.
Yeah, and
But we see that bank.
47. It looks like Devin's gonna try and at least go halfway. I would, because he got the gas for it. So
Well, we know he's good at saving tires too, and he doesn't mind riding around on the old ones. He's got the skill to kind of adapt to what he has to do in that car when it changes. So, Devin Zimmerman's always a force to be reckoned with. He's one of the 3 champions on the track tonight. I wouldn't expect him to give us anything less than a championship performance.
yeah, and that's exactly what we predicted in the very beginning. Because he is so good here, he's proven himself to be very quick over a lot of the fast drivers that have come in and try and take over. Shelton, he beat Shelton here. He's beaten Causey here, Thompson here. So I mean, he has shown the ability to get it done at this track, even though he claims it's not one of his favorites. But every time a driver says it's not one of their favorites, that's when they seem to do good. I don't know what it is. Maybe they're just concentrating a little bit harder.
Andrew Bisnett, after some green flag pit stops now sitting in the lucky dog position. Andrew Bisnett and Tyler Boyers both got a lap back the hard way.
That's Bowers, buddy.
Boyers.
You keep wanting to call him Boyer.
Look,
Clint Boyer, Tyler
I'm
Bauer.
a big Clint Boyer fan. All right.
Clint Boyer.
But that's okay. We'll figure it out. No, yeah, Tyler Bowers is now sitting 1 lap down, and like I said, now once these leaders go through, that may actually, because Bisnet was one of the first one in the top 5 to take over, so he may actually regain that lead. Chuck McDonald, when was that spin? Do you remember? That was 10 laps into it, lap 10 to 14, somewhere around.
Yeah, it was early on, within the first 20 for sure.
So he doesn't really have enough to go the full distance on fuel if it was to remain green the rest of the way. But he did get that incident. I'm sure he got that taken care of because he was down on pit road. So, but now Chuck is 1 lap down. But I don't see him going. He's not blisteringly fast. He's one of those, I don't know. Have to keep an eye on Chuck because he's going to be one of the wild cards that we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on tonight. That can upset this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. He took that lucky dog from Andrew Bisnett real quick.
And if everybody else is on 2 strategy, comes down with 1, he could essentially short pit within the next, I'd say, lap 70, take it all the way out to the end.
Yeah, and have the best tires.
And have the best tires and the best car at the end and be able to hold off any hard charging, anything that may come at the end. So
you see, Ryan Walter is now hit pit road. That is your P3 car on track, so he will cycle through back with the rest of them. These other top 4 got to be coming any second now.
Yeah, like I said, I believe it's going to be Zimmerman and Ethan Thompson are going to stay on that strategy of trying to go half.
They be
and then
just
Robert
pretty
Cochran
close
as well.
to halfway right now, won't they be? 55.
Yes, next one is lap. Yep, next one is halfway by. So we should be getting halfway cross flags this time by.
Ryan Walter slid through the pit stall there too.
Here comes
Devin. He's going to definitely split this one in half, but we do know that they have enough gas.
That's going to cycle newcomer Brad Youngman up to the front to get his point for leading a lap if he doesn't hit pit road this time by.
And there's your new leader going to gain that point. So.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No wait. Oh, the scoreboard's got me confused. Okay, Ethan Thompson came in. Okay, I see.
Yeah, they're all in. Yep.
So Ethan came in. So yeah.
Good stop by Devin. No, he's still going.
Youngkin's still on track. He's going to have to go around one more time to get that point for leading a lap here, which is a great strategy as a newcomer to the league, I think.
And Thompson came in a lap before Zimmerman. He's back on track going. Let's see how this shakes out.
Here they come.
Yeah, because Andrew Bisnet was the first one to pit.
Zimmerman's still on pit road. Ethan Thompson has cycled out, and they pitted around the same time.
Yeah, he's coming out right now.
Chuck McDonald now on pit road.
Here comes Brad. He got his bonus point. He looks like he's coming to pit road now.
I think you have to at this point.
Yeah.
With the
Get
entire
that
field
point and do
pitting.
what you can.
So I'm looking at Devin Zimmerman, and I go to far chase here.
And
Ethan
Chuck is on
Thompson
pit now, guys. Chuck
actually.
is on pit road now.
Chuck's on
Robert
pit.
Cochran with a bonus point for leading a lap this time
Yep.
by.
Cochran gets a point for leading a lap.
Brad Youngman dives onto pit road after he gets his point for leading a lap. I would expect Robert Cochran to come this time by. Biznet has now cycled into P2.
He should cycle into P1 because I think Cochran came with.
Yeah. When Cochran goes in, Biznet will be your leader.
Did Cochran pick it?
Yep. Cochran has not pitted yet. He's
No, okay.
still
I see that
running
big difference. So he's going
He
to.
is the only one that has not pitted in this cycle. Has not pitted in this race yet.
So he's going to basically have the freshest tires on the track when he does pit.
Oh, that car's got to be a handful right now.
Yeah, he might be playing that strategy, hoping for that caution with these guys pitting and all that, and maybe getting that.
If that happens now, it's really not going to help him right now because Ethan and Devin are back on the lead lap, so it's really not going to help him as far as pitting those guys down.
Now, hats off to him for staying out as long as he has. He might be trying to make this a long run and really
Somebody else
long
is
run.
coming out. Who else just went down pit road now? So
Might be looking for that yellow
Robert
flag.
Parton's back on pit road.
Okay. Pardon, yeah, I just saw somebody go down pit road again. I thought everything was cycled through except for Cochran, but that's the second time Pardon's been on pit road because he was out there. In fact, we saw him go by Zimmerman a few laps ago. About lap 44.
Robert Cochran still looking pretty consistent. The car doesn't look too loose or too tight. Obviously, he's not running as fast, losing it at least half a second a lap to Biznet behind him. But he looks pretty good. He looks confident. He looks comfortable.
Is he trying to pull the Chuck McDonald?
Got a long way to go to run that tank dry.
50 to go. We'll see what happens here as he is leading this race. It's good seeing Robert up in front of the race.
Absolutely.
Maybe he's sending a message to his. Oh, somebody taps the wall right in front of him.
That was Bradley Hunt, I believe, again.
Again, Bradley Hunt.
Yeah,
My goodness,
that's the second car that did that. I saw one do it earlier. I couldn't see who it was. It was kind of far up ahead of him. But we've seen quite a few cars here catching whatever we're going to call the stripe.
Oh, we got a lot of quick cars. There's a number 6 car newcomer.
These guys looks like Cochran's going to come on pit road now, yeah.
Yeah. So beat up. He took it all the way down the apron.
Yeah, he was. He got into a little bit of some nervous situation there with all those quick cars coming up on him. So there you go. It's going to cycle back through. And there's 2 cars on pit road as we got Bradley Hunt. Or no, Brian Boyd is on pit road as well.
Brian Boyd's back on pit road. He's coming off now. I don't know what happened with him right offhand.
And then we got another one on there too, right?
Well, Robert Cochran in the pit now almost took the race to halfway.
And beyond halfway. No, it's beyond halfway. We're 47 to go right now.
Yeah, he's
I read that wrong. So beyond halfway, if he can do that again, he might have the advantage on the other 2 stop cars out there.
Yeah, as far as leaders go, he's going to have the freshest tires. So if you look at it that way, he's going to be able to go faster, longer.
It's Tyler Bowers assumes the lead. He was one of the ones that came in early as well. So these guys are only going to pit once and pitted early, and we'll see what happens here. Maybe they don't pit again. The guys that came in early.
Biznet cycled out ahead of them, and he completed the pass as we rode around with Robert Cochran and celebrated the points he was getting. Tyler Boyers, season 3 champion, strong performance tonight.
Yeah, Tyler Bowers is showing that, and he started up front, so it's not like this is a fluke where he just came out of nowhere. He did start up front, so he is definitely showing, hey boys, I was a champion before. I'm gonna, I'm not afraid. Let's do this. Let's pull this in and fight it out like champions here. But Biznet up there in second spot. He did pit on the earlier, one of the first ones to come in. He was at just under a second and a half, now falling back to over 2.5.
Yeah,
with Ethan
Thompson's about a straightaway behind him.
Yeah, I just don't think that, unless you're going 2 stops, probably with about 30 to go is when Biznet would have to pit again in order to be effective for the rest of the race. If not, he's going to lose so much time as this run goes on.
Robin Parton, a couple laps down, but has broken into the top 10 now as Ethan Thompson gets around him.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of good
You
racing
got
out there tonight.
you got Devin and Ethan battling it out like they always do.
Yeah. Here's a couple champions chasing a soon-to-be, I'm believing, and another one.
Yeah, so it's fun right now. Devin Zimmerman's. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 right there in the shot. So they're
Oh, Bizneggin's down on the apron there. Gets him
Yeah, get
kind
them
of
all
tight.
tight.
Gotta let him by here, I think. Yeah.
yeah, that's tire advantage. You know, talking at least 15, 20 laps in between pit stops, in between Biznet and these guys. So is that the advantage that Cochran's going to have? Because don't forget, these guys are going to run their tires out, and Cochran's got the. He's sitting in that spot where he was one of the last ones pit with the leaders.
And you see Robin Parton still bringing a lot of speed despite being a few laps down. He's right there behind Ethan Thompson. Just see that nose peeking in a little bit like, hey guys, I'm as fast as you. I just had some trouble early.
The tires do definitely play a premium here as they roll into turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, I think the 2 pit stop strategy it's riskier, but it is the winning strategy, assuming we don't see any yellows. The 3 pit stop, I think that is the safer bet, but I don't think there's enough to be gained on the fresh rubber.
No, not as. Yeah, you're gonna have to have more than just what you got. But then again, if you're tight, as we see Bob and Part when the new tires finally get around Ethan, and they'll probably get once again around Devin here in the next couple of laps because he does have the fresher car.
We saw Christopher Strawn exiting the pits again. And we have a few cars, a couple laps down here, but a lot of points to be fought over back there.
And points, we all know. And you miss. Yeah, easy to what? Easy to give away and harder to gain back. So
Absolutely. Ask the top 3 who have finished the season with the most of them.
you don't believe me? Go out there and try and race Devin Zimmerman for 1 point. Go chase down Ryan Shelton for a point. Go chase down Ethan Thompson for a point. No, they won't even let you get to their. Oh, you're there. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just slowing down. I was only using 3/4 throttle as you're driving your heart out. So, and there's that. Ooh, oh man, that was a dangerous situation.
We
There
got
was just
4 cars, a couple battling to get a lap back, and 2 cars that are battling for the lead.
And Robert Cochran almost, decided to play the Dale Earnhardt game and put that chrome horn to the back of Tyler Bowers, get him out of the way there going down in turn 1. But man,
watch out, buddy! I'm racing other people right now.
Right? Don't forget. Oh, man. Oh, that's making me nervous just watching this one. I wouldn't hate to be in the car, especially watching in Cochran's cars. You see Tyler Bowers just cut down on you just a little bit, and you're trying to get around him. And you're on fresher tires, and you're faster. I don't know. For me, even though you got Devin Zimmerman, Ethan Thompson, and that back door, but I guess everybody races a little bit differently. But that's something that
you got to remember too, as a driver, even if you're winning the race, just because there's some lappers behind you, they have a race to run too. I mean, you've got guys that are fighting for every point, even though you're fighting for the most points. These guys have the right to be out there and earn their points as well. And if they're able to, by all means, let them by.
and they're faster than you. I mean, if you're putting yourself running the leader, I mean, I don't think I've been in that position where I'm leading the race and have somebody underneath me and try and keep them a lap down and try and cut them off. I mean, I would let them go considering they got a whole lap to get it back to round 2, and by the time that's supposed to happen, they wore up their equipment. So I don't know.
Well, and I think that courtesy goes both ways. If you're lap traffic and the leaders come up and they're racing, you let the leaders by them. But if you're the leader and you've got lap traffic coming and they're racing for their points, you let them by if they're faster than you.
As you got Devin taking the lead from Tyler. Well, they're side by side yet, but it looks like that's what's going to happen here in these turn.
And it's also using up your equipment, trying to keep those cars behind you, making them block moves as well. So, I mean, I don't know. As you see Devin Zimmerman now able to get by, and then here comes Ethan Thompson who's going to get to that low side now. So, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, yeah, you want to lead as many laps as you can, but like I said, you got to be smart about it as well. And I don't know if that was really a smart move by Tyler Bowers, but I'm not a champion. I'm not a winner in any of these races.
Well,
I'll
I look at
a
it.
few laps, but that's about all I've done in these cars. So I'll let them make that decision. Everybody's their own driver, but that's just something that I wouldn't have done.
As
I
Andrew
think Adam.
Bisnet's on pit road as well.
I think Adam Rickey says it best. One of the TDR legends, really good driver. It's risk versus reward at all times. And if you're being a smart driver, you're looking at what you can achieve versus what you're putting on the line. And running your race while someone else is running their race, talking about leaders and lap traffic mixed together. That's two races running side by side. It's risky business. It's risky business.
It's very risky, and like I said, me as a driver, um, I wouldn't risk it. But like I said, that's just me. Somebody else may.
Well,
As a result,
that's in your blood. You're kin to gentleman Jim Downham.
yeah, but ask a couple of these guys. I've gotten into gentleman gym racing hard, so
I'm sure. No rivalry like a blood rivalry, right?
right. I mean, totally accidental. I don't run into guys on purpose, that's for sure. But I do race them a lot harder. I pinch you down a little bit more. I'm not as gentlemanly as my brother, but but given
Yeah.
the opportunity, I will let you go. I'll race you just a little bit harder for position.
Well,
But if you're the
it's
leader
like,
coming up on me at 100 miles an hour faster than I am, by all means,
yeah.
you go ahead.
Yeah, it's like we talked about earlier. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of rivalry, as long as you respect each other. It makes you race harder. It makes you better drivers.
Absolutely, I can't agree with that statement more. Because I race Dustin, I am around to Dustin a lot. I am around Jim a lot. Greg Brazo is another one I'm around a lot out there. Ryan Walter, I seem to race with a little bit too. So and I've been out there racing with Cochran in this race. So I've been around a few of these guys. As we see Ryan Walter, there he's really having a good race. Started in last, up to fourth. I mean, talk about hard charger. He's I think our hard charger of the race right now with all those points. He's already up 9 spots on the day.
He's
To use
having a good
another
run.
Adam Rickey nomenclature, that is position through attrition, baby.
Having a good
Uh,
race, good clean race. He's having fun on the track. That's for sure. That's what he always does. And he's by himself on the track right now, so that makes it a little different too, where you can just drive. I think everybody else is on the back half of the track.
Well, you know who else seems to run up front every weekend on Sundays? Ross Chastain.
Yep.
yes, and Ross is aggressive. Ross is overly aggressive, but that's how he got to where he is at.
Yeah.
And it's not a big surprise, but so has everybody else early in their careers. When you're trying to make a name and trying to get a ride, you're going to be overly aggressive. Harvick was overly aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Logano was overly aggressive. Brad Keselowski and Carl Edwards, that epic battle that they had where he turned Carl Edwards over at the fence at Talladega, only for him you know for Carl to come back and put Brad Keselowski over, and that whole thing with his dad wanting to come out of retirement and kick his butt. I mean, but these guys got to remember that young guns, young blood have no fear, and the
Mhm.
younger you are, the more you're going to put yourself in a dangerous situation than when you're older and in the sport and understand it a lot more. And you're not as aggressive, and you realize that, hey, if I do that, it's a stupid move. When you're
Yeah.
young and aggressive and you're going for those wins and you're trying to make a name for yourself, you're going to make those moves. And with a new car, everybody's still learning the new cars, so you can't tell me that anybody's got a handle on this season. you know there's no way, not in the real life. In here we got 3 drivers that are trying to figure it out, but we also got 3 or 4 that are always right there, that any given moment, if something should happen, could take over. So
Well,
this car
as we
does kind of mimic that.
as we see here, our champions running 1, 2, and 3. They are about to be the last 3 cars on the lead lap
I've
on
been
that
s-
2-tire strategy.
I've been slowly watching this. I mean, I know Devin's coming up on some lap traffic, but Ethan has been slowly reeling him in with 21
Ooh.
to go. A lot can happen here as these two could battle for it as Biznet's on those fresher tires. He's just gonna fly by.
Yeah,
Right,
Ethan
and
Thompson
Biznet is
got
going
in
to go around.
Biznet's dirty air there, got dangerously close to Ryan
Right.
Walter.
Yeah, and Ryan Walters first one in that lucky dog spot. So, but then you got the number 6 car, Brad Yauman. I'm hope I'm saying that right.
I think it's Yunkman.
Yunkman. I'm sorry.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, Brad, if you're listening back. I do not have that great of a screen, so I am very sorry if I mess up your names tonight.
If we are saying your name wrong, please let us know so we can
Please
get
let
that
us know.
updated.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, I'm still
Um,
up here cheering for Tyler Boyer.
Tyler
Tyler Boyer,
Boyer.
that's right.
As he is the last car on the lead lap, but Ethan and Devin here, they're gonna battle this out to the end. I mean, Ethan's down
19
to a
laps.
0.25 with 19 laps to go. This could get interesting.
Well,
Ethan did get that damage earlier on the wall that might have hurt his car, so maybe he learned something a little bit in the longer run. And Devin maybe thought he'd burn up the tires. Hey, I can go a little bit harder. We'll see what happens here with 19 to go.
Yeah, and Ethan Thompson, he might have got a little bit of optional repairs, fixed that arrow up. Ethan Thompson led the early portion of this race, and Devin Zimmerman only caught up to him when he had that incident with the wall. So it's not Devin's to run away with. Ethan Thompson is right there.
No, and as you can tell, you got Robert Cochran, who's now 2 laps down, who's desperately trying to get back on that lead lap, but just doesn't want to upset any of the leaders there. He's he can definitely see right there every lap. You see him just inching up. He's on those fresher tires as well. Don't forget, he's got one of the freshest tires out there outside of Biznett, who we saw just go by the leaders a couple laps ago, and he is out of the shot right now. So he's trying to make up that time to get back around, holding off 7th, chasing down Chuck McDonald, who's I'm sure within a straightaway, maybe a little less than a straightaway away, but he is definitely using those fresher tires to that advantage on a 3-tire stop, as Dustin alluded to earlier with Andy there.
And I think next to us, Robert Cochran's probably got the best seat in the house right now, watching Devin and Ethan battle it out for P1.
Yeah, I'd be sitting right here just watching this out, watching it to the end. I'm stuck where I'm at.
Are you kidding me? I'd be
Wait.
pushing Ethan.
I think he just tried
Go
to.
get him, boy.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
if Ethan
that's
passed
twice
Devin,
now.
I'd be pushing Devin. Make him fight a little bit, rattle him up. Let's get that yellow flag because I know Robert wants
So
it.
who's using more equipment right now, Ethan or Devin?
Right now, it
Guy.
looks like Ethan is looking like he's scrubbing more, because you see, Devin is more smooth going through. Ethan starts there and then dives down. That's going to scrub a little bit more off those tires. I mean, he is able to get a little bit more of a run on Devin, but he's using up more of his equipment, whereas Devin is just holding that wheel
Yeah,
smooth.
Ethan's
It's interesting.
got
Like
a
he's
consistent entry and exit. He's coming in and out at the same line with a little bit of fade up in the middle of the corner, and Devin's kind of staying stuck low. As we see,
Yeah, but you're
Devin
scrubbing it a
fade
little
up
bit more because you're holding that wheel just that little bit more. It's going to definitely take more off of the, or more rubber off that right front. But you got 13 to go, and it's going to be a good battle here as we see Ethan Thompson now. He's looking a little bit hungry now.
Yeah, 13 to go. To heck with the tires. We got to win a race.
So the last lap, is Ethan's gonna go by here, but Ethan did a 25:32 and Devin did a 25:44. So see what happens here, and is it it might be hard to pass in this track. I mean these guys really haven't had a chance to really battle it out. Now they're battling. Might need to learn something.
Yeah, outside of the lap traffic passing we saw earlier, we run green flag here. They cycle through some pit stops kind of spread out. One-on-one, it could be a tricky feat. We saw Ethan Thompson right there. He can get there. Can he get there again?
I think
And
he'll
now
get there again.
Devin started to move up, trying to take that line away from Ethan. But by doing so is also going to give him that draft, which will help him pull him into him. As you see, Ethan's able to drive just a little bit harder in turn number 1 there.
Yeah, the
coming down 10 to go.
The air's not a massive effect here, but I do think a little bit helps. And you don't want to block here. You're right. You want to pull away from the guy behind you and try to keep your clean air off of him, so to speak.
I'm looking a little bit ahead of Devin going in the couple cars going into turn 1. Lap traffic could come into play here with 10 to go.
And that could be a major factor if he's got to slow down just a little bit, because Ethan is right there. He's very consistent, but if he holds off for just a couple more laps, he'll be able to make 1 or 2 more runs, just keeping those laps cooled off. But he's got something going here.
Yeah, I agree. Devin does look a little more consistent. It looks like Ethan Thompson's kind of searching for a little something that might not even be there, just trying to find that edge.
Well, he had it there for a couple of laps because he was able to close within a car length, and now he's faded back a little bit. So maybe he used this stuff up a little bit too early. I'm not sure, but like I said, we got lap traffic coming up.
Or maybe he's just playing possum.
cooling off those tires. I mean, if you do lay back, you can cool off those tires. Maybe get just enough of a run to come at them one more
Right.
time here. 8 to go, but time is running out.
Prove to yourself you can get to the bumper. Sit back, prepare, and with 8 to go here, any lap, we might see him start charging back towards Devin.
And we're not really sure what they're feeling inside that car either, so it's easy for us to call it from up here, but you can totally feel something completely different. Those cars look very steady on track, but in that seat, you start to see something that doesn't look quite right to you. I mean, but he gets a huge run now. He's really going after it
Oh,
now.
He dove in a little deeper there.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to he sees that second win on this, or first win on the season. Sorry, we're only second race in, but he's looking for it, and I think he was just trying to get what he can, but I think in the long run, that might have hurt him. 7 laps to go, but these cars are going.
He certainly got a lot of
With
W's here. He doesn't need another one, but he wants one.
6 laps to go, you got a lap car
Yeah,
up
lap
high.
cars
Looks
slow up
like
high on
Chuck
the wall.
McDonald. I was like, these lap cars could get in battle here because they're battling side by side, but it looks like, Chuck let him go.
Yeah, it looked like Chuck just went up and tapped that outside wall because those two were running side by side about a lap before.
Now pulling up on Larry Patrick, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, Brian Boyd. Brian Boyd. Yep.
But Brian's going to just let him go. Yeah, Brian's going to let him go, and I'm sure he'll let Ethan go as well. So.
Oh, yeah.
As Ethan's dropped back a little bit now, I think Ethan had a shot there, but might have burned up his stuff a little earlier than what he thought, and it's 5 to go. You never know what's going to happen here as we're down to 4 to go.
Yeah, 4 to go. I mean, it's been our typical TDR Vets and First Responders League green all the way through. So 110 laps of green flag racing, but yeah, I think Ethan just took what he could get, saw that, and went after it and used up his stuff just a little bit earlier than maybe he wanted to. But 3 to go this time.
Yeah, as they said, barring anything out of the ordinary, I don't want to jinx it, our 3 champions on track are going to finish 1, 2, 3.
And look who's sitting in that 4th spot, guys.
Ryan
Walter, good racing tonight. Newcomer Brad Youngman, he's raced a good race.
Brad Youngman.
Good to see him out here. Glad to have him out here. He's always, he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be a contender as the season goes on.
Yeah, did a great job. Kind of stayed quiet the whole race. Sitting up there with really good points. Oop, I have an alarm going off.
That'll happen.
Yeah, really good points for the newcomer coming out only 2 races into the season. This will put him pretty high up in the ranking.
Yeah, it'll get him going for the season. He only missed 1 race, and I did learn that they do have a drop week in this season, so that does not hurt him at all. He dropped that first week, so he's in contentions for the points, and it's going to be a fun season, I think, guys.
Absolutely. As we're on our last lap here, Devin Zimmerman's going to put out a good commanding win tonight, sending a message, and once again, he is the king of the mile, so he's the monster tamer.
As he takes the checkered flag.
That's it. Devin Zimmerman brings it home first. Ethan Thompson second. Tyler Bowers third. Ryan Walter fourth. Brad Youngman fifth. Andrew Bisnet sixth. Robert Cochran seventh. Larry, I'm sorry, I can't read that
Larry
name.
Patrick eighth.
Go ahead and take out the 8th.
Larry Patrick 8th, Robin Pardon 9th, Bradley Hunt in P10, Chuck McDonald 11th, Christopher Strawn 14th, and Brian Boyd rounding out all 13 cars on the track. I said 14th, I meant 12th. It's also hard for me to see.
That's all right, but
as
what a race.
Devin burns it down for us.
Yeah, that beautiful McConey cone paint scheme.
Yeah, and I mean, Ethan did have one heck of a run going through that. So, I mean, what a race to the finish here. And sorry, guys, I'm feeling a little under the weather myself, so I'm not normally bringing all the excitement that I normally bring on that last lap. But
hey, man, it's hot outside. We get it.
Yeah, it's hot outside. It was hot in Dover, that's for sure.
But what a race, guys. I mean, talk about running. There was a lot of storylines tonight with Devin Zimmerman he started 3rd tonight, brought it home first. Ethan Thompson fighting with them there up to like 5 to go, so that was a good little battle. Tyler Bowers, who is our season champion, comes back out, shows that he's got some speed and comes home
look
third.
Devin. The good man that he is, cleaning up all those marbles after the race.
Yep. Dirtying up his tires a little more. More work for the pit crew to shave them off.
Right? There you
That
go. And
is
Ryan
right.
Walter gets the Hard Charger Award, moving up 9 spots tonight. So good job to Ryan. Great run
Well,
tonight.
We got a lot of drivers with their in cars still on. Obviously, we got to talk to the race winner. Do you guys want to hit the race winner first?
Let's do that.
Absolutely.
Let me see if I can get his car queued up here. Hey, Devin, top me up in the booth while you do your Polish victory lap there.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Good, bud. What a race tonight. Talk us through it. I mean, how are you feeling about tonight?
Feeling good. I'm not a big fan of Dover, but for some reason I have really good racecraft here. So, big thing is saving the right front tire. You can do that. You can really make moves later in the run, which after not getting on the front row, that was the strategy from the get go. I mean, even if I was on the front row, that would have been the strategy. So, I'll give up a couple positions because I know that I'll get them back at the end.
Yeah, tires being a big deal here. You went with a two pit stop strategy on tires. Did you plan that before the race, or did you kind of feel how it was going and figure you could make it last a little longer than some of the guys that went for the three stop strategy?
It was only a one stopper. So
Yeah, he only had one stop tonight. Yeah, he did one stop tonight.
Yeah, it was either one stop or two stops.
Oh. Well, why were we talking about 2 and 3 then?
I'm not sure. The fall off was pretty crazy. So yeah, it's 56 on the right front at the end of the first run. So
Whew.
I know that I can keep the speed up in it. And once you get down past was it 80%, so like 70s and 50s and 60s, the lap times kind of equalize if you've been taking care of it. So that was the name of the game. Just take care of it on the short run. So the end of the run, I can be the fastest car out there.
Did you miss Ryan Shelton at all?
Yeah, it would have been nice to have him here. I know he's been trying to make every race this season, so unfortunately, I think he had an AC problem. But
Yeah, he did.
I'm sure he'll be back next week at Daytona, so we'll see.
Yeah,
him
certainly. He certainly put on a show for us tonight. You brought a lot of speed. You went and won the first one. You went and won the second one. So you're sitting pretty in points. I know, like me, you also enjoy paying bills. Tell us who's on the car.
Yeah, of course. We got Honey Press, my wife's stationery, and correspondence, Japanese stationery, Japanese pens, Japanese paper. Feel free to check her out. honeypress-nc.com. McConey set up shop on the sides. Big shout out to Jeff McConey for sponsoring us this season. Looking forward to doing great things for him. Also got Kieran Dental Labs on the car, Tank Racing, Hunter and Anesthesia. Yeah, those are the big ones there. I'm glad that they are on the car and supporting us each and every week. And of course, you guys, Tyler Daniels Racing and Back Charities. Glad you guys are doing what you do for us to broadcast this thing. I know I got quite a few people who watch, and it's really nice to have them watch me and to perform like this.
Absolutely, man. Well, as always, we thank you for your service and we thank you for the show. We're going to go talk to some of the guys that weren't as fast as you.
I appreciate it. They were fast. They were fast. It's just they were. I know I couldn't hear anything, and I'm sure they were trying to talk to me. But yeah, the biggest thing: take care of the tires. The concrete surface, man, it'll destroy them.
Yeah, I was gonna mention it earlier. For those of you who've never been to a racetrack, imagine a freshly paved road and how smooth that is. These guys were driving on a sidewalk.
Pretty much all night. Yeah, we can start calling you the miles tamer. So you're taming that monster out there every time you come
Absolutely.
out
Yep.
All right, man. We'll go
here.
go
Have a good
enjoy it.
week.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care, Devin. All right, so we're gonna go to P2. Get Ethan Thompson up here.
Absolutely.
Hey, Ethan, top me up in the booth. You got a read on us?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Around lap, I think it was 9 to go. You were right there on the bumper, and then you kind of drifted back. Did you just use it all up getting there, and didn't have enough form afterwards? Is that how that went down?
You talk about the second run?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing my best to save, because I didn't do as good of a job in the first. So I definitely did better in the second run, and it gets to a point where you got to start pushing, and uh, when I started pushing, Devin and I seemed to be running pretty much the same lap times, pretty much every lap until I just started to get too tight the last 5-ish laps, and then I'm also, of course, I'm trying to find, trying different lanes to see if I can find something. So I mean, some of them, kept it stable, and some of them, didn't work to where it ended up getting loose one time that caused me to fall back. It's like a second and a half, where I was like a half second back, I think. But
You did a great job at, as our reigning champion from season 5, put on a heck of a performance out there. Again, big shout out to B&B Wraps for providing those season trophies. Did you notice the top 3 tonight, before you talked to me, were all former season champions?
no, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah. You're season 5. Zimmerman is season 4, and Bowers is season 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's kind of
But
crazy.
you had a good run tonight. Everything looks good out there. Although you did kind of fib to us in the beginning, saying that was the only point you were going to get, and then ended up leading the lap. So,
Yeah.
So
I got 2.
Well, we've introduced the fib jar. Anytime a driver lies to us, they have to put a quarter in.
Yeah.
but no, I mean, you look good out there. Should give a shout out to your sponsors. And
Yeah, so of course we got McConey on the side, so want to thank Jeff a lot for sponsoring myself and the others from last season, and maybe even upcoming ones. For all we know, we'll see. We
Yeah.
got my company, Thompson Drone Works, on the car, and then of course we've got Tyler Daniels on the rear quarter and back charities on the deck lid. So shout out to you guys as well.
Yeah, we
Well,
appreciate it. But the
it's our
thanks
pleasure.
belongs to you all for your service in the show, for sure.
Definitely. And you did put on one heck of a show tonight, trying to chase them down. We thought you pretty much had them, and then you used it up there at the end. But no, good job tonight, bringing it home, P2. So another podium finish. So you guys are really fighting it out this year, and it's starting up to be a good season. Season 6 is definitely living up to the billing. So looking forward to seeing you next week
Yeah.
at the wild card race where you pulled it out on the last lap. So we're definitely looking forward to Daytona.
Time to
Um,
start practicing braking from 190 to 80.
Using that bumper and door a little bit more. But no, I mean, really, you guys did great out there tonight. Thanks for the show. Thanks for your service. Thanks for everything that you do. And we'll put you back down there, and we'll see you from Daytona.
Appreciate it, guys. Catch you next week.
Our
Have a good one,
pleasure.
bud.
All right, got to bring in Tyler Bowers. Oh, he turned off his in-car communications.
Oh my goodness. Well, how about Ryan? Ryan had is the hard charging award tonight.
Yeah, we got Ryan Walter dialed up. Now, if I remember correctly, Ryan Walter is the one that we were calling Ross Chastain all night, right? Old RC.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yes, old RC
Hey.
is what we call him.
Ryan, Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on us?
Yeah.
Ryan, what a run that you had. You get the hard charger award tonight. You started near the back, brought it all the way home in P4. Congratulations. How was your night looking for you to pull that one off?
In practice, I was doing nothing but working on tire conserving to conserve tires. I conserved tires pretty well tonight. I think I did well tonight. I started dead last, finished 4th, charged from the back all the way up. I actually hit the wall at one point, popped my right front tire towards the front stretch, but I got around quick enough to where it didn't bother me too much, and I finished 4th. But honestly, at the end of this race, I was happy about where I finished.
Now,
One heck of a run, that's for sure.
I know one of the other drivers called you a watermelon farmer. Did you realize when you run the Rainbow Warrior paint scheme, that throwback to Jeff Gordon, the little icon we see of your car when we pull you up on the TV here, it looks like you have a watermelon on it.
Yeah,
It's got the
I
red
see that
fruit
right
and like
now.
that little bit of yellowing before the green shell.
I see that right now, but I take a lot of inspiration from Jeff Gordon. That's the NASCAR guy I grew up with, and he also was really good on short tracks. I'm trying to become better on short tracks. and I'm taking some inspiration from him and also trying to get better, especially with some help from Ethan Thompson an hour before the race. We were working together, so I really thank Ethan Thompson for helping me try to figure out how to save tires.
Yeah, that's something we preach up here a lot about the Vets League is how you guys help each other become faster. The faster guys help some of the slower guys, and vice versa in some situations. So I'm glad Ethan was able to get out there and help you out. Heck of a run tonight, man. You look great. What
How's
do you
that leg
think?
feeling?
The knee is still messed up, but it felt good to represent my home track, my actual home track, pretty well. Ethan Thompson's home track too. I think we both finished well. Top 5. I was hoping for top 5.
Yep,
Trying to
valuable.
get
That's a
top 5
victory
into
then.
the points.
Oh,
So
I was
I
gonna
got
say
that.
valuable points. Second race of the season. You're gonna be looking pretty good points wise. What are your thoughts going into Daytona?
Daytona, I'm just looking for a good, clean race. We got a lot of great racers here, a lot of clean racers. I think it's going to be a great, clean race, hard race. But at the end of the day, I don't think anybody here is going to end up wrecking anybody on purpose. A lot of good racers. It's going to be a wild card. Anybody can win it, but anybody could end up wrecking out. But it's going to be a good race.
Good deal, man. Well, we appreciate your service, and we certainly appreciate the show you put on tonight. I'm gonna let you get back with the other drivers and talk about what happened and help each other. We'll see you next week at Daytona. Best of luck in that chaos.
Yep,
Thank you.
congratulations on your run tonight. See you next week.
See ya.
All right, let me see who else we got up here. You guys want to talk to Larry Patrick?
Sure, bring Larry up here. I don't really speak to Larry all that much.
Yeah, he's a name we say pretty often. Don't often get the chance to interview him. I know he runs a part-time schedule over here. Larry, this is Tommy up in the booth. You got a read on us there?
Yeah.
Hey, man. You know, top 10, not a bad spot. You've been in and you've been out, kind of running a part-time schedule here through the last 2 seasons. What's it like out there running with these guys every night or every week, I should say?
Yeah. I mean, when I first popped in, I mean, I felt like I had the speed to run with these guys. I think the first race I was running third, made a mistake, wrecked. Second race, I think I was up to second, made a mistake, wrecked. And just a lot going on. But now I'm gonna run a full season this season, and some of the new
Good to
guys.
hear.
These guys are incredibly fast. I think it's what Devin Zimmerman's just ridiculous. And then there's another new guy that joined in. He come in, and I was like, oh, another fast guy. This is awesome.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that was Brian Boyd, and he had some trouble earlier on, but he took off like a rocket early on. You had Brad Youngman. This was his first race in the series. He really took off like a rocket as well. But you'll notice this league, these drivers, consistency matters. It's not about your speed necessarily, but doing it lap after lap after lap and minimizing those mistakes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean that was one thing going into this race tonight that I felt like I could push it a little bit more, but the car was not stable enough for me to push it at that pace. So I just figured let's just run a consistent points night and just call it an evening. And to grab an eighth and not feel like you had the speed it's a nice little run.
Yeah, great performance,
Absolutely.
great points. Since we don't have the chance to interview a lot, what's it like as far as like the pits with these guys? Are they helping you out? Do you interact with them? Do you talk with them at all before and after the race?
I haven't talked to them too much. I'm gonna get a little bit more interactive with them.
You
I'm
should.
one of those
They'll
people.
help.
I'm one of those people. I'm a pretty private guy. I don't talk to a whole lot of people, so it is a little bit different for me to start just talking to random guys. Every chance that
Sure.
I've had the opportunity to talk to him, Devin Zimmerman, I talked to him a little bit after the race last week, and nothing but a nice guy, and everybody just seems like a great group of guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're glad to have you. I'm glad to hear you're running a full season. I would like to say your name more. Hopefully, we'll get some more points race after race here as you learn how to run around these guys and really it's just about minimizing the mistakes. A mistake here, a mistake there with some of these top caliber guys. It's going to put you back outside the top 5 every time.
Oh, easily.
Practice makes perfect.
Easily. I mean, the funny thing is, I missed the pits again tonight, and I was like, "That's
Oh no.
awesome."
No, geez.
We know what you're
and then I got a
practicing.
speeding. Yeah, and then I got a speeding on pit
Oh,
road. So
man.
that didn't
Yeah,
help
that
me out at
hurts.
all. So, like I said,
Yeah.
I was happy to grab at least 8th out of that.
It's tricky. From up here in the booth, if you want one tip, whenever you practice racing, always practice pitting at the track you're at.
Yeah.
And I definitely need to. I have a bad
Yep.
tendency of, and I'm learning this very slowly again.
Yeah, I do every practice session. I hit the pits once or twice just to make sure I can get it wound up, get it settled in. And you're still gonna mess up. I mess up all the time.
Yeah,
But practicing
love it.
that little bit can help get a few seconds out of those pit stops and keep you in contention.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as always, to all the veterans, thank you for your service and thank you for the show. I'm going to put you back down there with the rest of the drivers.
Hold on. Before you do that,
Oh,
Tommy,
yeah,
we really
go
don't
ahead.
get to see Larry all that much. This is Jay up in the booth. Obviously, we call you all the time, but not too many people know what part of the service you're in, your rank, or anything like that. Are you Are you active? Are you a veteran, or where do you what's your
History.
status? Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, right now, active duty still. I've spent my first 7. Well, I'm going on 8 if you don't count, or if you count Cradock. But my first 7 years here at Fort Bragg. Spent my first, what was it, 5? Nope, 6 years supporting special operations. Was airborne. Kind of tore up my body. Went to a leg unit here on Fort Bragg, and been here for the last 2 years, just trying to get healthy. And currently, I'm a staff sergeant, and yeah, should be looking to move to a new base here within the next year or two.
Awesome, man. Well, come on down to Elgin.
Uh,
You'll be
yeah,
right next to me. I'll buy you a beer. It'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking at a lot of stuff. I've definitely thought about going down towards Tampa a couple times. We'll see we'll see what's out there.
Well, for
I
those of
only
you
get
not
so
from
much
Florida,
say.
Larry, you got to come get you a pub sub.
So I actually lived in Bradenton for a couple years.
Oh, very cool.
A while back.
So you know what a pub sub is?
Yeah, right?
I was really big on Leroy Salmons down there actually, and that was I never had a pub sub though.
Never had a pub sub. Well, if you get stationed back down here in Florida, I'll travel to you and get you one.
Sounds good to me.
Absolutely,
All
brother.
right, Larry, it was good talking to you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything you do. And thanks for putting on a good show and being out here every week. And look forward to calling you and talking to you a lot more coming up in these upcoming races for season 6.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me and appreciate you guys putting on the show for us.
Yeah, and I guess one last thing. Do you want to give any shout outs to what's on your car?
So actually, a big shout out to Rick Kohler. I know he used to run in the league.
Mhm.
He actually just painted this new car for me.
Yeah.
Which is just a little bit from my career in the Army. And shout out, as you guys seen on before, the Garage Kings. It's my one of my brother-in-law's companies up in Ohio. And luckily, when I go home, I can do a little work for him, which funds this hobby that's rather expensive.
Absolutely.
We hear that.
Awesome. Well, take care, Larry. Shout out to your sponsors. I'm going to put you back down there with the rest of the drivers.
I appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
I'm trying to get him dialed back down to. So, Larry Patrick doesn't like interacting with the drivers, or he says he's slow to warm up to people. So I pulled him out of a private race communication.
And you put him right back in.
And
at
put him-
that one.
I put him right in with all the drivers.
Well, there you
You're gonna talk to him tonight, boy.
Right? But no, I mean, it's
He's looking for the eject button right now.
I'm sure he is, or he's fitting right in. Either
He's
way,
fitting right in.
Before we shut it down for the night, guys, you want to talk to Brian Boyd, newcomer from last week?
Yeah, we can do that.
Let's do that.
Hey, Brian, last place on the track tonight, and you were the last interview of the evening. You look so fast early on. What set you back so far?
My own mistakes in the beginning. Absolutely my own mistakes. I pushed the car too soon, too fast, and tried to make a pass and squeezed it too tight.
It happens, and you look good in the first race. Last week was your first race with the league. What's it like running out there with some of these top caliber guys?
It's phenomenal. Devin, he's a vast wealth of knowledge. So's Ethan. Ethan, he spent 3 hours with me, 4 hours the other night. Right after the last week's race, we started practicing together, comparing lap times, and then there were some changes that I guess iRacing put out that changed the car and the way it reacted a little bit.
That's how it goes.
But Ryan Walter, I can go on and on. All these guys talk to you. They share knowledge with you. They share information with you. Bradley Hunt. Um, I talked to Larry briefly a couple times. Cochran, they all just they're easy to talk to. They're easy to you don't have to pry information from them. They're quick to try and give it to you and help you.
Yeah, I think they want the level of competition as much as anybody else does, and we preach it all the time up here in the booth. These guys are amazing at helping some of the other guys be faster or be as fast as them. And when we hear it time and time again, so huge shout out to everyone that helped you look really good in the first half of the race.
Uh, it compounded on me. I wrecked myself. Then I kept it on the wall so I didn't take anybody else.
Hey, there's no shame in that.
And then I was frustrated when I pitted, got my car fixed, and then I sped out of the pits, so I had to stop again.
No.
So
on exit?
Yeah, it snowballed on me. But
nah, I was telling the guys in the booth earlier, 35 miles an hour is hard on a really long pit road like that. You really want to keep it right at 35 to minimize the loss. And 36 and 37 is so close to 35.
Oh yeah. You won't see the same outcome from me next week.
Okay. Well, you're at Daytona next week, so next week ought to be a good one.
It's Daytona. Don't make any promises because we now have a fib jar. If any of the drivers lie to us,
they get a quarter in the fib jar.
Got to put a quarter in the fib jar.
I'm telling you right now, I am not wrecking myself out next week.
All right.
I don't think it's yourself you got to worry about.
Yeah.
It's going to be the guys around you.
It's going to be the guys around you. Yeah.
Drivers around you. Yeah.
As bad as this is going to sound, I trust no one on Daytona or Talladega.
I think we're all there with it.
Strategy to have. That's the best strategy to have.
Let me rephrase that. I don't trust anyone's car. I trust everybody else. I trust all the people on the track. I just don't trust their cars.
Oh, there you go.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing your performance next week at Daytona. Same back time, same back channel. Do you want to give any shout outs to what's on your car before we let you go?
Yeah, good looking car tonight.
Oh, thank you. Mission 22, obviously, if people don't know what it is, they need to go check it out. It's a foundation that brings awareness to the suicides.
And what does the 22 stand for?
It's 22 suicides a day on average.
Far too many.
Of veterans that before Mission 22, Wounded Warrior, there's a couple others, Until Valhalla's out there. All these programs help these guys that need the help mentally to where they don't take their lives.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And, Mission 22 funds programs for soldiers or vets that are at that point mentally in their life that they'll send them out hunting, fishing, whatever their hobby is. I actually think they did one 4 years ago for a soldier that he got to do the Richard Petty ride along at Daytona because he was an avid NASCAR fan. So they do a lot of programs. It's almost like a Make-A-Wish Foundation that like the children's hospitals have for the children, but it's for the vets and solely the vets.
Absolutely. Kind of a somber subject to end on what the mission is, but the mission they do is great, and I feel like we should draw more light to it. So, Brian, thank you for joining us for this season.
Well, no, you're not going to let them go that way, Tommy, because I got
awesome.
some things to add to here.
All right,
Brian, all right.
I got one thing to add real quick.
Go ahead.
I got to thank McConey Setup Shop because they recently sponsored me. I got their setups now, and I actually ran a truck race and got third on my first time ever racing on the track for road course. So I was pretty happy about that.
I got my first official win in the truck.
McConey Setup Shops is the best. I don't care what anyone says.
That's right. Their setups, your victories.
Yep.
That's
McConey Setup Shops.
.com.
All right. Now I'm going to go back to you, Brian. Going from watching us on YouTube to out there on the track racing with these guys. Honest opinion, you came in, you were really excited to race with these guys. When you came in here, is it all that it lived up to be?
Absolutely, and then some.
Would you recommend it to anybody that's out there that may be thinking about it or on the fence?
Anybody that's out there on the fence, it's a no-brainer. All these guys, they're either they've been where you are or they are in the same place as you, being a veteran, whether it's a first responder, military veteran. Everybody sets branches aside. Everybody's on the same page with you. They'll help you. This is probably the best league that you can ever be part of.
I know you were excited to join. Did you think you were going to get this kind of
Welcoming.
Do you think it was going to be easier, or were you expecting this when you came in?
I I was I was expecting the competition actually to be right where it's at, and the only downfall is I've let myself down twice because I can drive better than what it shows in the last 2 races.
Well, I was just telling, I think, Larry Patrick, someone who's kind of run a full season with us this season. It's all about minimizing your own mistakes. It's not that the other guys are that much faster than you. It's that they run flawless races, and that's the hard part. It's all about that practice on the back end and the tips you get from those guys.
Absolutely. Like, had I not, what I should have done in the beginning of this race is I should have just calmed down in 3rd place and just rode there for a while until the tires broke in or until the guys that were taking off had their tires fall off. But instead, I decided to be an overachiever.
Learn
Prime
from the
example, I
mistakes.
shot myself in the foot.
Learn from the mistakes.
Yeah, a
absolutely.
week down and a lesson learned.
Right. Well, it's great to see you out here. I'm
Yeah.
glad you're out here, going from YouTuber to actually seeing you out there and calling you out there. We couldn't ask for anything better. Thank you for everything that you do, all your service, everything that you put in this country, so we can have broadcasts like this. We salute you for that. I'm gonna let Tommy wrap you up here, but I just wanted to get your take on some things, considering it's the 2nd race now you've been with us.
No, you
Yes,
did a
sir.
great job. I just wanted to bring him up here to give a shout out to that big M22 on the hood to make sure we brought
Right.
awareness to that. So, Brian, again, thank you for joining the league. Best of luck next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much.
Have a good night,
Thank
Our
you
Brian.
for
pleasure.
what you guys do.
No problem.
It's our pleasure.
Well, gentlemen, race number 2 of season number 6. Did you ever think we'd get to 6 seasons?
No.
I'm expecting at least get to 22
Yeah.
seasons.
The way this is going, yeah, we're
That's
gonna be
what?
pounding by.
That's 6 seasons, 10 races per or so. So by the end of this one, we will have broadcast 60 races with many of the same names.
And you know what? It's great. And not only the same
It's
names, but we see
phenomenal.
different ones out there
Yeah.
and new ones coming in. Like Brian Boyd came in, he was like, he got a hold of this. He saw it's like, I can do that. And then he got really excited, and now he's out here racing with us. And that is what, as being, that's what we kind of brought awareness to. And I'd love to see that and, see Brian Boyd out there now. And like I said, we see a lot of these guys that come and go. Obviously, real life with their jobs that they have, it's very stressful, and this is kind of like a stress reliever for them. But like everybody says, you come in here, you learn a lot. Everybody will talk to you. It doesn't really matter. We're out here just to salute and pay homage to everybody who puts their bodies on the line and their
Yep.
lives on the line.
Braver than me, that's
and
for sure.
sacrifice that you guys give and selfishly, like that's the whole thing. Like you will go in and without even knowing half of us and put your lives on the line for us, and that is doing what we do. It's our pleasure, and I say it every week. They don't
Yeah,
need to
it
thank
is.
us.
This
It's
is
our
the best
pleasure to
job in
call these
iRacing.
guys and to pay tribute to these guys and to call these guys by name out on track and get them at least a little bit we can. I mean, there's nothing more greater that I don't think we can do as civilians to help these guys out for sure.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well said, Jay.
Well said.
Dustin, your final thoughts on the race?
Oh, it was a beautiful race. Congrats to Devin on the win, Ethan for second, and the rest of the field. They did a great job tonight at a hot track. The way it looked like tires were eating up. I'm looking forward to Daytona next week. We all saw what a Speedway or Super Speedway race can bring last season. I'm excited for that, and we get 2 of them this season. We go to Daytona next week. I am so excited for that. I cannot wait to see it. Tommy?
Right.
Absolutely. I just want to give one last shout out to all the veterans on track. Another thank you for the service. Another thank you for the show. B&B Wraps for providing all the season trophies. Facebook.com/B.B Racing Wraps. Back Charities for helping us keep the fun and funded at BACCcharities.com. And of course, McConey Setup Shop at McConeySetupShop.com to help you guys be as fast as they are.
And
From Back Sports, on behalf of Dustin and Jay, we will see you soon.
See you at Daytona
In a week.